Well, it's a new year, but an old story, in that House Republicans continue to trip over themselves in their haste to impeach President Biden. Specifically, one of the impeachment inquiry leaders, Jim Jordan, publicly admitted today that the strongest evidence to impeach Biden came from a debunked witness testimony from last year. And Speaker Mike Johnson admitted today that it would not only be irresponsible to prejudge an impeachment inquiry, it would violate the Constitution. Apparently forgetting that another impeachment leader, James Comer, admitted back in August that he was ready then to impeach Biden. But before we unpack all of that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert buttons before you go. It'd be greatly appreciated. All right, friends, I have several clips to play here, starting with this one of Jim Jordan. To put this in perspective, Jim Jordan is the least effective congressman in Congress, and I mean that literally. His legislative record is inferior to every Democrat and every Republican, even though he's been there for 16 years. And this current iteration of Congress, thanks to House Republicans, is the least effective in decades in terms of getting bills passed, and the second least effective since like the Great Depression. We covered that last year. And yet their focus, even as we head into 2024, is to try to impeach President Biden for absolutely no damn good reason. So with that in mind, he went on the Fox Propaganda Network and was challenged by Maria Bartiromo to say what exactly is the strongest evidence.
So you believe you will get all of these depositions done by the end of January? Some of the people you just mentioned. Give us your sense of what the most damning evidence is that you have so far on Joe Biden regarding bribery, potential money laundering. These are the terms that you and your colleagues have been using. Where's the evidence? And do you believe you're going to find more from these depositions by the end of January?
I do. To the last question, the most, I think, damning evidence thus far is what we got from Devon Archer.
The most damning evidence is what they got from Devon Archer. Now, Devon Archer, you may or may not remember. you may have like blocked it out because like of just the psychosis associated with this impeachment inquiry effort. Devon Archer was the former business partner of Hunter Biden. Okay, they worked together on the board of the Ukrainian energy company Burisma. And we covered in various videos this star witness because Republicans bragged they've got him. This is it. This is the smoking gun. Devon Archer was going to produce the goods. And then it just backfired spectacularly to the extent that many people thought that this was the death knell of credibility for the impeachment inquiry. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'm just going to give you some highlights from a House Democrat debunk document that was circulating. We also covered this as well. It's a handy document to have. So multiple individuals have testified that this allegation is not true, including Republicans' own witnesses and source of the alleged bribe himself. Devon Archer, Hunter Biden's former business partner, who Republicans lauded as a hero, who was coming forward to directly tie the president to a bribery scheme, testified that he disagrees with the FBI forum's allegations that Biden had been bribed by Burisma's owner. Question: if someone were to conclude from this evidence that it's evidence that Joe Biden was bribed by Mykola Zlochevsky, the CEO of Burisma, would you disagree with that conclusion? Archer, who knew Hunter Biden and Mykola Zlochevsky, said, yes, I would disagree with that conclusion. In fact, Archer even testified that then Vice President Biden had no involvement with Burisma whatsoever. Question: so based on everything you saw, heard, and observed, did you have any knowledge of Joe Biden having any involvement with Burisma? No, not direct. No. Question: no involvement of Joe? No. Okay, we're going to keep going. We're going to do Control F and Archer for some of the highlights. Devon Archer, Republicans' much hyped witness this year, testified that he'd been informed at the time that Shokin's firing was not good. This is Viktor Shokin, basically the Ukrainian equivalent of the attorney general who is at the heart of all these conspiracy theories. And Archer was asked, do you have any knowledge of Joe Biden having any involvement with Burisma? Archer says no. Do you have any basis to disagree with the conclusion that Hunter Biden's presence on the board of the Ukrainian gas company Burisma had no effect on U.S. foreign policy? Archer says no. Basically, has no evidence to contradict that idea whatsoever. This is the witness that Jim Jordan is just talking about. Archer testified that President Biden wasn't involved, never discussed business dealings, and did nothing wrong. Archer testified that Biden had no involvement with Burisma. He wasn't aware of any wrongdoing by Vice President Biden. Are you aware of any wrongdoing by Vice President Biden? No, I'm not aware of any. He testified that President Biden never discussed business dealings with Hunter Biden and his associates. Is it still true that you're not aware that Hunter Biden ever discussed policy with his father, discussed business with his father, influenced American policy for purposes of his business, or otherwise caused the vice president, then Biden, or asked the vice president to do anything improper, right? Archer says, that's my understanding. There's still more here. Let's see. Confirmed he was aware of no wrongdoing. Do you have any basis to disagree with the conclusion that Hunter Biden's role did not influence U.S. foreign policy decisions? Answer, I have. Yeah, I have no basis. Do you have any basis to disagree with the conclusion that Vice President Biden carried out foreign policy in the interest of the United States? Archer says, I have no basis to judge. Well, what about to disagree? Or to disagree? You have no knowledge, nothing based on your knowledge or experience which contradicts this conclusion. No. Okay. And so on and so forth. Right. And we covered this at length in a separate video. But this is their smoking gun, according to Jim Jordan. It's truly embarrassing. It's not just Jim Jordan, though. We also have Republican Speaker Mike Johnson, who was interviewed today and asked about prejudging an impeachment inquiry. Now, this clip is a bit weird because of how Ian Sam set it up, like it autoplays, so it might interrupt me. So I've got to be quick about it.
So you haven't made the conclusion that you've seen evidence that we'll move forward with this?
Well, no, you can't prejudge an impeachment inquiry or investigation. I think that would be a violation of our duty under the Constitution.
So that's what House Speaker Mike Johnson says. You can't prejudge an impeachment inquiry. It would be irresponsible. It'd be a violation of their duty. Well, this is what one of the other impeachment leaders, alongside Jim Jordan, James Comer, this is what he had to say back in August 2023, before the formal impeachment inquiry was even launched.
If they want to impeach, then we will do that. You know where I stand on that. I would vote to impeach right now. If they want to.
So one of the leaders of this impeachment says that he's ready to impeach Joe Biden right now being in August 2023, prior to the impeachment inquiry. By Mike Johnson's own logic, Jim Jordan, James Comer, and I guess by extension, Mike Johnson, because he put these people in charge, House Republicans have violated their constitutional duty. That's an admission. This entire impeachment inquiry is a sham. It's objectively a sham by Mike Johnson's own standards. Now, of course, Republicans have never allowed consistency and single standards to ever stop them before, or facts for that matter. So are they going to stop it? Is Mike Johnson going to come out and say, you know what, guys, damn it, you're right. By my own standards, this thing is faulty. We just need to shut it down, right? Because we've clearly prejudged the outcome. No, of course not. Now, before I go, I just want to play. This is a compilation of things I put together towards the end of the year of MAGA's dumbest Biden impeachment moments in 2023. The whole thing is about 13 minutes long. I encourage you to check it out. I just want to play some of the highlights because it's amusing.
This isn't about politics. It's not about theater. My job, I know the media. And I like you, Jake. I know the media would like to have a big public show, and that would be very entertaining. But my job is not to entertain. Public show.
Yes, it's me.
Right.
It's quite important, and they did it to me. And had they not done it to me, I think, and nobody officially said this, but I think had they not done it to me, and I'm very popular in the region, they like me and I like them, the Republican Party, perhaps you wouldn't have it being done to them. And this is going to happen with indictments too.
Don't forget, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who right now is probably the most powerful member of the House Republican Conference, introduced articles of impeachment on day one of Joe Biden's presidency, before he could even be the president, do anything. They've decided from the moment that he took office that they were going to impeach him, and this is a natural continuation of that process. And now what they've done is wasted millions and millions of taxpayer dollars on a fishing expedition trying to drum up an excuse for it.
Have you seen direct evidence that President Biden profited?
We have it. Well, I mean, but Caitlin, the point of the inquiry is to give us greater standing to get the full evidence.
But have you found any evidence of corruption on the president's part? Or is this a fishing expedition?
There's little question that no, I don't think so. Listen, I think there's little question that Hunter Biden was engaged in influence peddling. The question is whether or not government services and resources were part of those conversations, and that's what the constitutional requirement is for congressional oversight.
But you're saying,
Congressman,
that there's a question. You have a question about it, but you don't have any evidence or proof, right? Don't you usually have to have evidence or proof to go into an impeachment inquiry?
Despite nearly 2 years now of an investigation into the president's son, while you have certainly unearthed a trove of evidence that the committee says proves the president's association, there has not been produced a smoking gun. Clear-cut, undeniable proof of the president's involvement with his son's foreign business deals. What do you say to that?
Well, we've never claimed that we have direct money going to the president, but many members of his family have received money from foreign governments. And this is something that is...
I want to just follow up with you, sir, on a point you made a moment ago, which is you said we never claimed that any money was funneled directly to the president. That is precisely the claim that the chairman of your committee, James Comer, and also Jim Jordan have made many times on the public record.
We are putting an investigation together, laying out the facts between on the business dealings of this family. We are going to continue this investigation. I believe impeachment inquiry would give us more tools to get the job done, but I think the Speaker of the House...
The witness testimony, of course, all indicating or suggesting that there could be some serious crime here, like bribery or money laundering. Have you been able to identify any actual policy changes that Joe Biden made as a result of getting money from China?
The short answer is no.
And it goes on like that, folks. This is, again, just objectively embarrassing, objectively weaker by far than any of the Democrats' impeachment efforts against then President Trump. This is indeed a fishing expedition. They failed utterly, but they're just going to continue to drag it out. They're trying to give Donald Trump as much political ammunition as possible to try to even the playing field between him and Biden with perceptions of morality. Everybody knows how corrupt and incompetent Donald Trump is, and they can't whitewash him, right? They can't remove that stain. But what they can do is try to stain President Biden. And honestly, there's a potential that that's effective. Polling indicates that the more Republicans barrage the American people with this endless spree of baseless accusations, it's gaining traction, right? Because that's just what propaganda does. But in terms of the substance, in terms of the facts, they've got nothing here. And I just love the fact that Jim Jordan gives the game away. He says that the strongest piece of evidence is testimony from a witness who said repeatedly that he has no evidence whatsoever of any act of corruption by Joe Biden or any involvement, any direct involvement whatsoever between Joe Biden and Hunter Biden's business. And then you have the Speaker of the House saying, listen, it would be irresponsible and a violation of our constitutional duty to prejudge the outcome of an impeachment inquiry, which was prejudged by the impeachment inquiry's leaders before the impeachment inquiry even took effect. That's where these people are. It's an objective clown show. And as we head into the elections, I hope you all remember that. And I hope you're able to let this information go to your friends and family members and let them know Republicans do not deserve your vote. On every important metric, elected Republicans are inferior to elected Democrats, and the record simply reflects it. Let me know what you think in the comments.